Lots of people are looking for jobs at the moment, and if you're one of them, listen closely now, because today on the show we've got not one but two jobs on offer, and these jobs are the genuine article. Now, John Kennedy, you're from Dublin company HiberniaEvros, and you're here to tell us how to go about getting these jobs. Tell us about the two jobs that are on offer.
Sure. Good morning, John. Well, the first thing is we manage companies' technology so that they don't have to worry about it. So take, for example, Colm here beside me from the People Group. When he's fast asleep, tucked up in his bed at night, we're busy looking after his computer systems and making sure that everything is working exactly as it should. In fact, if you look at your listeners, they probably all have some form of computer at home, whether it's a PC or a laptop. Well, there's nothing worse than not being able to get access to the internet or get an email when you want it. So we make sure that doesn't happen, and if it does, we fix it promptly. So we have a great opportunity today, and what we're looking to do is we're looking to recruit two new salespeople. The two sales candidates will ideally have a background or some related experience in a sales environment. The good news is that IT is not a prerequisite, so that's really good news for the listeners. What we're trying to do here is we're trying to open it up a little bit. We'd like to hear from people with a background, for example, estate agents, from construction, conferencing or even banqueting, and obviously recent graduates as well.
So people from all backgrounds considered. In other words, you're making the point that expertise in IT, while it might be of assistance, this is a sales job, and what you're selling is services and equipment to help companies with their technology.
Correct, absolutely. But I mean, I think what we're really looking for is people with certain basic qualities. We want people that are highly motivated, energetic. We're looking for people that have got great positive attitude, and we're going to get out there. We're going to train them. Now, I know that the IT business is full of jargon. We're absolutely terrible when it comes to jargon, and in fact, we've got lots of three-letter acronyms as well. So I know you hate that. We have a few of them, but what we can promise the successful candidates is great training. We'll put them in a place where over a couple of months they'll get all the necessary training. We'll look after them, make sure that they get right. We set them up from the get-go.
Okay, and are the jobs permanent, and what sort of salary will they carry?
The jobs are 100% permanent, and the salaries, what we're talking about, is €30,000 basic. We're also looking at a commission from around about 10 to 15,000 in year one, and an appropriate car allowance for business mileage.
Are they based in Dublin?
They're Dublin-centric for the moment, yeah, so there'll be roles based out of Dublin, but we do have offices in Dublin, Waterford, Cork and Kildare, so perhaps at some stage in the future, who knows, somebody might want to go back to their mammy. Yes. We'll see how that goes.
And how big is your company at this stage now, John?
We've 70 employees, and I think the good thing for your listeners to understand is that we're not a multinational. We don't have 80,000 employees, but neither are we a brand new startup company suffering with all the challenges of the current economic climate. We're a well-established business with great foundations. We've got really good backing from very key partners. Your listeners would be familiar with names like HP, Hewlett-Packard and Microsoft as well. So great foundations.
So in other words, there's no danger that people might get these jobs and in 2 months find themselves out in the rear?
I sincerely hope not. We will absolutely give them the right training, and with the help of John here or Colm here from the People Group, hopefully we'll get the right candidates.
We'll introduce Colm now. Colm Buckley, he's the director of the recruitment company People Group. Colm, you're very welcome. Now, we've heard what the jobs are. John has set it out fairly clearly. What happens now?
Okay, well, this is a real-life recruitment process, John, which we're going to carry out with your help, the programme's help, over the next 4 weeks.
And how do people apply, for instance?
Okay, well, if they apply to the following email address, the John Murray Show at peoplegroup.ie, or our postal address is number 4 Clanwilliam Square, Dublin 2. The roles can also be viewed on our website at www.peoplegroup.ie.
A lot of information there for people who are listening intently and scribbling down the email address. It's the John Murray Show at peoplegroup.ie, and the simplest way, I suppose, to say is the website peoplegroup.ie. Now, before we get into further detail, from your experience, what type of basic mistakes do people make when they're applying for a job?
Well, I suppose if we talk about the CV, given we're at that stage of the process, grammatical errors, spelling mistakes, there's absolutely no excuse for that these days. I've had 6 jobs in the last couple of years rather than I've had 6 jobs in the last couple of years. Absolutely.
Okay.
Contact
the
details, addresses and phone numbers, make it easy for you to be contacted. You are pitching yourself. Email addresses, just be careful these days. dumbblonde@hotmail.com or bigboy69@gmail.com. They could get you into trouble. They may not get through spam filters in the first place, so your CV may not get to its destination because of that. A couple of basic ones, no more than 2 pages. It doesn't have to be War and Peace. This is your business card. It's brand new business card, if you like. So the purpose is to get you to the interview table and no more,
And explain how it's going to work here on the programme.
Okay, well, as I say, over the next 4 weeks, we'll run this process. We are going to take CVs over the next week and a half. The closing date is the 15th, midnight on Wednesday, the 15th.
That's
of
Wednesday
September.
week.
Yep. So we will take CVs into our business, and we can, with the help of your team again, we can update your listeners probably in a week's time.
How we're getting on, the nature of those CVs.
Indeed, the application types and the skill sets and backgrounds. And briefly, the process from there then is that we'll interview a short list of 10 to 20 people at the People Group's offices, probably around the 16th, 17th September. And then we'll pass over a short list of 8 to 10 what we feel are suitable candidates to John and his team in HiberniaEvros, who will in turn conduct their interviews.
Okay.
Throughout this process, we can obviously, we can update you and maybe we can hear some of the interview process.
Yeah, and that will be helpful for people applying for other jobs.
Correct,
presumably, they get some good out of it. So the plan is for a short list of 6 candidates who may be invited back on air or to come on air and talk to us here about their ambitions and their hopes and what they'll bring to the interview when they take place. And also, to add a little bit of expertise, we've also acquired the services of Sonya Lennon, stylist Sonya Lennon. Sonya, you're very welcome to the programme.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So while people dust down their CVs and get ready to send them in or email them in, give us some views, first of all, on the whole idea of dress for the interview process that will be down the road in this experiment, let's call it.
Well, I suppose it's impossible to extricate the idea of your own self-image from the interview process. And I think a lot of people underthink it, to be honest with you. And I suppose in the current climate, and, although I hate that phrase, we have to really think very carefully about what we're selling. And ultimately, when you're in an interview situation, you're selling yourself. So I suppose the key is to be appropriately dressed and to think about what the role is, what's expected of you, to kind of think outside of your own head with it and think about what the interviewer wants to hear and wants to see. So, I mean, it's important to research the position, even so far as doing a little stakeout, having a look at the company, having a look at the people walking in and out of the doors and seeing what they wear.
Is it an open-shirted environment? Is it a T-shirt and jeans environment?
Exactly. I
wouldn't think it would be a good idea to go to an interview with... John here is wearing a very nice suit with a tie, so I get the impression that good dress is an essential, John, yeah?
Oh, absolutely. I think, remember, this is a sales role, so first impressions count every time, I think, so absolutely suit and tie. That's a prerequisite.
And for women then, Sonya, what would you suggest?
Well, it's funny, I spoke to a very senior HR person recently, and they were calling the new recruits the penguins because they troop in to interview in black suits and white shirts, and they stick out like a sore thumb because nobody in the working environment actually dresses like that. So I think it's important to have confidence.
The lads are nodding here.
Yeah, to have confidence in how you look. And again, think about it very carefully. Do your research. If you don't have confidence in your own style, go and speak to the most stylish person you know and ask for advice. Never be afraid to ask for advice, because the more you get this right, look, a salesperson, they are their own best asset. They're their own tool. So the visual that you give, not only to your interview, but ultimately to your client.
I'm just wondering, Sonya, is the safest thing to do to overdress? Because surely a recruiter or an employer ain't going to give out to you.
Well, that's a bit of a dangerous term. You don't want somebody sort of teetering in on 6-inch Louboutins with their cleavage out, because that's not right either. So the term overdress can be very easily misconstrued. I think
dressed conservatively, let's say.
Well, I think it's important to be elegant and confident and self-assured and look groomed. I mean, this is from the simplest things like having your nails groomed, clean fingernails, not too long nails, for men and women, having your shoes polished, having your hair looking shiny like it's not in need of conditioner. Simple things like that can make a total difference to the package.
And is it the case that people come into interviews, Colm and John, without these basic requirements, without the shoes polished, with the tie a little bit unkempt?
Yeah, I mean, well, definitely with recruiters, what a lot of candidates don't realise is they are being interviewed by a recruiter. They've got to get themselves to the top of their priority list, so you're always on show. And as both of my peers here have said, that first impressions do count. It's that initial few seconds that we all judge.
Yeah, but it's amazing because there's so much advice given out about this, and so much of it in public, and it's either written down or on the airwaves, that people, Sonya, still seem to get it wrong.
They do, and just simple things like borrowing a suit for an interview. it's not a great idea because it's not going to fit you. So you're going to look like you're either wearing your
if you
Big
have those
Brothers
suits,
or
if you
your...
have it, yeah.
Look, I have to say, I mean, I'm not all for spending masses of money on this. I was thinking about it on the way in here. I love charity shopping, and I'm not afraid to say it. Charity shops are a really great way. It takes a bit of time, but you know what? If you haven't got a job, spend a day trawling a street of charity shops. I bet you'll find a really good suit that will fit you. It's the investment. If you don't, if
Little
you can't,
suits as well.
If you can't, if you can't make the investment in money, make the investment in time. And I would say you get a really good quality cast-off suit if you spend a day looking.
Okay, these are 2 sales jobs, Sonya. In a nutshell, what should the prospective candidates be thinking of? You mentioned a lot of things there, but what sort of outfits? Give us a few specifics. What sort of colours?
I mean, again, black is a shorthand for ease and sort of the lowest common denominator. So, I mean, for a man, if I see a man in a black suit, particularly a not very expensive one, it looks like the first suit. You don't want to be going into an interview looking like you're wearing the first suit you've ever owned. So I would say for men, go for charcoal greys or navies are really, really good colours, and they look richer than black. A really nice white pristine shirt, a tie that's not too showy, because you don't want to be grandstanding and you don't want your clothes to be wearing you. You want to look like you're completely in control of the situation. So nothing too loud or ostentatious.
Okay, and the women?
That was the women.
Oh, was it?
The women, I mean, I think... I do like the idea of a skirt looking elegant on a lady, something like a really simple pencil skirt. And again, to think about tones, same applies for women. Go for navy or charcoal or brown or burgundy, richer tones that tend to look more expensive than black. And think about how you're accessorising your outfit. Do it very carefully. Even a well-chosen belt can make an outfit look more considered, and I think that's what it is. You want to look considered. You want to look like you've made an effort.
Mm-hmm. Can I ask you, John, by the way, when it comes to actually recruiting people, have you a difficulty? I mean, we hear at the moment about so many people unemployed. Have you a difficulty recruiting good people?
Well, it's interesting. You would think that there's a lot of candidates available out there, but the reality is most people who have a job today want to stay there. It sometimes can be a little bit risky going to a new environment and so on. So you would think that they're easily got, but the CVs aren't coming through the door at the moment. So hopefully this process will bring in some good quality candidates.
But presumably the ranks of the unemployed, there are people who've been laid off recently who aren't in any jobs who should be queuing up for jobs like this.
Indeed, yeah. I mean, there's you would think so, but as I say, right now we haven't seen too much of it. But hopefully this process will bring the people
Colm?
out.
I think when you look at a certain team yesterday, the word self-belief was quoted time and time again on the 9 o'clock news last night, and I think a lot of that has to come through from candidates on CVs and in terms of their experience. And
I mean, I think there is a problem as well. If you have lost your job, your confidence is severely knocked. So it's trying to get yourself to a level where you're in a position to deal with, further challenges and the challenge of interview, and that can be a difficulty in itself.
Mm-hmm. So we're encouraging people then to be positive, have a bit of self-belief and apply for these jobs over the next few weeks. A reminder of the email address, it's deadjohnmurrayshow@peoplegroup.ie, and probably the simplest way of accessing these jobs is peoplegroup.ie. My thanks to Sonya Lennon, presenter of Off the Rails, Colm Buckley, director of the People Group, and to John Kennedy, sales and marketing director with HiberniaEvros. And we'll be talking to you